Hello everybody, Aaron from the Ballpit here, back with another reaction video. Today we're doing something a little short, a little small, because I'm hungover, so I don't want to do too much. But we're doing Charlie Kirk debunks white privilege in 2 minutes. So naturally, if you're a fan of this channel, you know that my videos shouldn't be too much longer than 10. So let's get into it. I want to hear Charlie Kirk. He does even in less than 2 minutes. This video is 1 minute 40 seconds. It's even more effective, allegedly. Let's see what he says.
White privilege is a divisive data-skewed campaign built on lies. How about that?
White privilege is a decisive. I need to rewind that.
Data-skewed campaign built on lies. How about that?
Decisive, data-skewed campaign built on lies. What does data skewed mean? Are they skewing the data? Is that what you're saying? That they're taking the data and they're like manipulating it in some way? I'm assuming that's what he means, but I've never heard somebody refer to something as data skewed. I've heard people skewing the data, but I feel like the reversal of it means something different. I don't know. I'm not an English major or whatever, so I'm not too big into the way people say things, but just move on. I'm just yapping.
That. White privilege. I love this one. White privilege. Now, while recognizing, of course, everyone has a certain element of privilege.
Oh, I love coffee.
In your ability.
Bro, who is this on the camera? The person on the camera's like, what is happening?
Privilege in your ability to think, your size, your background, income. This idea that every person that has white skin has.
So you say, hold on.
Income. Your ability to think, your size, your background, income.
So Charlie is insinuating that there's privilege based on IQ, I guess, physical size. What else did he say?
Think, your size,
money,
your
income, location, so geography, your background, and like who your parents are and stuff.
Idea that every person that has white skin has an institutional advantage and has a thing called white privilege, which I'm sure you've all heard once or twice throughout your college years, is wrong. It's built on bad data.
So you're insinuating that there is definitely privilege over all these other 4 characteristics, but that it is not plausible that privilege would also exist based on your, socially defined racial group standing. Okay? That's certainly a point.
And I think it's incredibly divisive. So I asked someone the other day, they said, white privilege is a horrible thing. White people are much better off than people of minority and color. And so a couple things. First of all, anyone want to guess what the richest subracial group in America is right now? It's not
Nigerian. Like African immigrants, specifically like probably Nigerian, to be honest. I think that's probably the richest racial subgroup.
Subracial group in America is right now. It's not white people, it's Asian Americans.
Okay.
And then
I think that like Native Africans are actually really high up there, because a lot of the Native Africans that come to the United States, I mean, they have to be wealthy originally to even make it to the United States. I think they're also a lot of times like doctors and such. Let me just throw a quick Google on that. How rich are Native in United States? Statistical portrait of the U.S. black immigrant population. Never mind, it's actually lower. I thought it was higher. Interesting. Guess I was wrong.
it actually goes back to why the Constitution is the greatest political document ever written by man. The Constitution was not written in Korean, okay? It was written in English. Why the Constitution is the greatest political document ever. That's what the richest subracial group in America is right now. It's not white people, it's Asian Americans. And that.
Okay, so his first point as to why white privilege is bogus is that white people are not even the richest racial subgroup in the United States. It's Asian Americans. And I struggle without him providing an explanation as to how that has anything to do with racial group standing when you've already defined income as an existing privilege. So if racial group status and income are intrinsically intertwined in terms that there's certain racial subgroups that make more than other racial subgroups, then wouldn't race-based privilege be a thing if income-based privilege is a thing? Wouldn't they inherently both have to exist because of the connection? I don't know if that's crazy. You guys, please let me know in the comments if that made any sense at all. But it makes sense in my brain. But I've had a lot of brain damage. So, sometimes I got to check to make sure it clicks in other people's head.
It actually goes back to why the Constitution is the greatest political document ever written by man. The Constitution was not written in Korean, okay? It was written in English. It essentially means that anyone can succeed in this country. Asian Americans came here.
That's not what the Constitution means. The Constitution does not mean anybody can make it big in this country, especially considering that it took an amendment to the Constitution to make it so that slavery is illegal in punishment-related scenarios, because obviously the 13th Amendment still allows for slavery and as a punishment. So the Constitution, when it was written, was not the single most important political document in terms of freedom-based literature. And also, I struggle to understand how it being written in English rather than Korean means anything. I don't even know why that's part of this.
It means that anyone can succeed in this country. Asian Americans came here.
Also, the fact that anybody can succeed, regardless of racial group status, does not eliminate racial privilege from being an existing possibility, right? Nobody is saying that white privilege means that only white people have the ability to succeed in this country. Anybody has the ability to succeed in this country. The whole definition or basis of white privilege is that white Americans, or even just white people in the United States, have an intrinsic advantage due to their racial group status, due to systemic differences that elevate white standing. It's not to say that somebody that's not white can't succeed. It's just that they may have more obstacles in their way from success than white people do, which means that success past those obstacles is even more telling of the person's intrinsic character and ability to withstand obstacles and succeed, and their virtue as a human, because they were able to, succeed with these extra obstacles placed in their way.
Asian Americans came here mostly fleeing communism and socialism in the late 1930s, early 1940s. We did not treat Asian Americans very well. In fact, we should be ashamed of our history, of our treatment of Asian Americans in the 1940s.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Charlie. I like that he is able to properly reflect on American history and the way that and the way that it turned out, and some of the more of the negatives, the downfalls of American history. I feel like a lot of conservatives often try to overlook that, and I respect Charlie for taking it in stride and accepting history for what it is, and it's the way you should look at it.
Of our treatment of Asian Americans in the 1940s. We built internment camps. We violated their constitutional rights. Despite all that, they rose past horrible oppression, graduated high school in record rates, built businesses all throughout the West Coast, grew and grew and grew as a portion of the population. They are now the richest per capita racial group in the country. I have no problem with that at all. I think that's actually a great thing. I think it embodies meritocracy, which what makes this country so unique and so great.
Okay, so in the end there, he said that, Asian Americans fought through all these extra oppressive obstacles in order to get to a place of success that they may now hold. So when looking at that, I say, isn't that still reflective that white privilege exists? And it's just all that is, and like what Charlie said at the end, which I respect, is he was essentially congratulating or showing that the Asian community was able to fight back against that oppression, which made their success even the more of an achievement. That's what white privilege is. Again, it's not to say that nobody other than white people in this country can succeed. It's to say that people that may not have white skin may have extra obstacles placed in their way through oppressive means, like Charlie was talking about, with the Asian community in the 40s and 50s, which makes it harder to succeed, but not impossible. And when success does happen through those obstacles, is even more of an accomplishment. Also, I don't think that Charlie debunked white privilege. I would have loved to see more of this speech. It felt like this ending right here. Well, I'm not going to go back to it because I already took it off my screen. But the ending, it didn't really feel like he ended on something. Like I didn't get that finality that he was done talking about it. It feels like they cut him off way before he was able to actually substantiate his point. Because it felt like at the ending there, he was actually making a point for white privilege, that it does definitely exist. And I don't think that was his intent or is reflective of his actual viewpoint. So I can't say I love this video. This felt like the 2-minute introduction to his actual point. So it doesn't really feel fair for me to sit here and like debunk what Charlie Kirk is trying to debunk, or like, debunk the debunk, because he didn't debunk anything. And I don't think, again, I don't think that's reflective of Charlie's ability to do so. I think it's reflective of whoever edited the video wanted to get a catchy title and make a short video that the kids can watch without getting bored, and didn't actually think to include some more, some more prolific points from Charlie. We'll say that. But that's the end of this. That's the end of this reaction video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go down, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, then you should go down and dislike the video and not subscribe to the channel, because I don't really care. I don't really care. You can like the video, you can dislike the video, you can comment, you can not comment, you can subscribe, you can not subscribe. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Do what you want. Do what you want. I appreciate it if you support the channel by liking and subscribing, but if you don't want to, or you want to dislike, that's fine with me too. I don't really care. I'm just here, man. Just here making videos. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. Everybody stay safe, stay well, stay healthy. Stay happy. That's all I got.